Hello.
Hello, and welcome to this first session.
Yeah, of Be Healthy Church and Be Healthy Central.
A new course.
Mm-hmm.
And I've just got to make sure that this thing starts working, which it has done.
Yeah.
So real life, real faith, real friends with real food. Now, just want to say a little bit about that. This is on Be Healthy Central as well as Be Healthy Church. And what that means is you will have some Christian content in there tonight. But listen, you don't have to take any notice of it if you don't want to. Okay, but the message, if you like, the lifestyle, our eating is the same for both. So do stick with it if you can, and we're going to have some fun as we go through this.
To learn a lot and hopefully make some friends when we connect.
Yeah,
yeah,
and we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we proceed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now that session 1 is to tell us all about low carb lifestyle. Now, it's a lifestyle. It's not something that you just do for 2 or 3 months and then slip back. It really is a lifestyle, which John and I have done and are doing.
Yeah, and you know, there are many different diets out there, but as Sal said, it is a lifestyle, and you want to make that decision that it is a lifestyle. Here's a story of someone that started on this journey.
Yeah.
So, how's it been for you at BHC?
Well, it's just been great. I've had egg and bacon for breakfast. I never thought that I'd be losing weight having egg and bacon and eating so much food. I'm not snacking in between meals, and I've lost about half a stone.
Have you ever been on any other diets?
Yes. I have been doing Slimmer's World, and I won Slimmer of the Week, but I didn't tell them I was doing Be Healthy Church diet. So it's worked great.
Oh, fantastic.
But I'm not doing Slimming World anymore because this works.
Excellent.
Yeah, thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, and the great thing is that it does work. Mm-hmm. And we all of us have to make that decision.
Yeah, it really is a decision.
Yeah.
And up here.
Yeah, it all starts in the mind. And where do I start? You know, many people have, from a church circle, I used to get people to come up and pray because their knees were aching or their feet were aching or this was aching. And sometimes I'm not doubting that God can heal us.
No, definitely not.
But sometimes, lifestyle change.
Sometimes he wants us to do our part as well.
Absolutely. So also, you need to laugh, you know?
Laughter is a good medicine.
Yes, and we all make mistakes. We will all mess up from time to time. But the fact is, we need to laugh. And I can't show this clip on this actual thing because of rights, but look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, Michael McIntyre on Food and Christians.
Yeah, look it up. Not now.
No. When we're done.
When we're done, look it up and have a laugh because it is so true. So look up that and you will have a good laugh. Now, you've got, if you're here, a menu which you can look at. And we've put these out, and it's a breakfast menu. Just imagine you've just arrived at your hotel or wherever. Perhaps you have a menu at home. I doubt it. But what would you put down, or what would you put down as a healthy breakfast? Now, Sal, I know when we used to go to stay out B&B.
Yeah, we would. Well, I would choose cereals, fruit juice, and some toast.
Yeah, cereals, fruit juice, and toast. And I would probably go for the bacon and egg, but with it, I remember having I'd have a glass of orange juice. I'd have toast and marmalade. Had to have toast and marmalade.
You'd probably have a bowl of cereal as well. I can remember.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All the truth is coming out now. So what would you have? So check what you would have or would have had for a healthy breakfast, and then put on the list what you put a cross on what you had today. Okay. And we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that because as we go through this session, you'll say, well, was I choosing the right things? And we'll have more about how we prepare breakfast and what we do for breakfast another time. So let's click on to the next one. I think this is important. Now, for Christians, make a commitment to God. If you're not a Christian, you need to make a commitment that you're going to stick to this.
Yes, yeah. And that's why it's good to have someone else that's doing it with you, or even someone in your home that wants you to do this.
Yeah.
Because someone to be accountable to.
Yeah. We know it's a challenge for those people that are in a family where they can't get the other family members to partake.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to someone the other day, and what they said to me was, well, what I do is when I'm at home, I eat the meals that are served at home, but I am responsible for what I take to lunch.
Yeah,
and even what I have for breakfast.
Yeah, it's just the main meal that's a bit more difficult.
And so if you can, and even then you can cut down on certain things and say, I'll just have a little bit less of that or a little bit more of this.
Don't be afraid to say no.
No, that's a challenge. But it does mean that we have discussions with our family. A little scripture here.
Yes, yeah, this is from the Bible and the book of Corinthians. It says, everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. Food for the stomach and the stomach for food, but God will destroy them both.
Yeah. Now, of course.
Can you explain that last sentence?
Well, at the end, that would be a sermon in there, and I'm not going to go into a sermon.
No, no time for a sermon today.
But not everything is beneficial.
Yeah.
That is the point that we need to understand.
Yeah.
That you might think something's good for you because you've seen a commercial on TV, but commercials on television are there to do one thing:
to sell.
To sell, and we're the people that they're trying to sell to. So we need to understand that.
Yeah, now this is important because we're not actually medically trained. John has done some nutritional training, but it is good to consult your doctor before you do anything too drastic.
Yeah. And you're on medications, and while the people that I work with and for do a lot to get people off medications, it is done as a process with their GP or with their diabetic nurse. And so it is important because meds need to be altered if you are taking them.
Yes.
So need to understand that. So let's move along. And I am an ambassador for what is known as the Public Health Collaboration.
Yeah, that's a charity, isn't it,
yes.
John, that you've become a member of and done some training with?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's an ongoing thing. And we give presentations to, or trying to give presentations to doctors and medics and nurses on a new way of looking at food. Now, we do this because at the moment in this country, adult obesity is at 27%. Childhood obesity is 12 to 25%. Pre-diabetes is at 35%. And type 2 diabetes is at 6%. Now, this is costing the NHS a total of £16 billion a year.
And these figures come from the Public Health Collaboration?
Well, they're actually,
done all the research.
Yeah, the reference there is digital. You can get that from Diabetes UK. So it's not this charity's made up figures.
No.
These are actual figures from 2020. And so the cost is just unbelievable amount. So why BHC? Well, BHC comes Be Healthy Church and Be Healthy Central. We wanted to be able to spread the word far and wide because while we believe that we as Christians should be set an example, it's also, people in the world, people said to me that, I'd be quite interested in that, but I'm not so keen on the church side. And it started from me watching.
Someone sent this video to you, John. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
And we've not looked back.
Yeah. But it started really, I suppose, I was challenged by, I felt God was challenging me to do something about it.
To help
Yeah.
people.
And, what if everything you thought about health was actually wrong? That's a challenge, isn't it? Because it's really opened our eyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely changed our whole outlook on health and well-being. Now, what I would recommend you to do is to watch this film, and it's called The Magic Pill.
The Magic Pill. It's nothing magic about it, and you can get it. Can you still get it on YouTube?
You can get it on YouTube, and here's a quick trailer for The Magic Pill. Hopefully, a trailer's going to start running now. If I press the right button, perhaps it will.
Well done.
Fat's no good. Fat's no good. Don't want fat in my diet.
Lived alive for 50 years. It's not an accident that people are hooked on all this processed garbage.
Having the federal government get behind the low-fat diet changed vastly the food system.
Suddenly now we're eating a carbohydrate-based diet.
You might as well be eating a bowl full of sugar.
The one question I wish every single doctor would ask is, what are you eating?
Maple and brown sugar, heart healthy. You know that can't be right, right?
What powers the brain far more efficiently is fat. We need to get back into the kitchen.
So we're going to add more fat to the diet. I mean, good, natural fat.
Coronary artery disease.
I have asthma.
Type 2 diabetes.
Has epilepsy.
Autism.
High cholesterol. Cancer.
So when we get rid of refined sugars, refined grains, refined vegetable oils, processed foods,
It's basically meat and vegetables.
we might be able to influence a variety of organ systems through one intervention.
This is a unique event in the history of modern medicine.
They are powerful vested interests.
This will seriously harm our profession.
Pharmaceutical companies are profiting from this. Weight loss industry is profiting from this. Undertakers are making out like bandits.
Cancer cells depend on glucose as a source of fuel.
I am really going to do this. I am going to do this. I started this new way of eating today.
I have no idea how we're going to do it. The first 5 days, she starved herself.
The fifth day, he said his first word.
Tap your fingers.
I almost fell over on my chair, literally jumping up and down. And she's not seizing.
When my tumor started shrinking, the possibility is that she could cure her diabetes with food.
No more inhaler.
Absolutely. Cheers.
It's time to look at the results and the outcomes and say maybe we've got it wrong.
I have faith in bigger, better things, man.
Wow. It
Yeah.
still brings
Yeah.
tears to my eyes.
Yeah, worth a watch.
And yeah, do I agree with every single word on the video? No, but 95% of it is absolutely brilliant. And I really can't encourage you enough. The Magic Pill, watch it. You'll find it on YouTube. Has been on Netflix, but I don't think it is at the moment.
No.
So I don't know which one of them is me. Don't answer that. So we're going to do, we're going to hope to bring along some sample food here where we're meeting live for people to try.
Yeah.
So
So if anybody really does have any nut or whatever allergy, let us know.
Yeah.
If you're here in person.
if you're here in person watching this with us. So that is the case. Also, if you look at the shape of how we have changed, we were hunter-gatherers. Now we go hunting in the supermarket, and there isn't a lot of effort put into catching it, is it? But unfortunately, that's not how we are designed to be. And we need to take a look back at what was and used to be eaten, because what's eaten today, we can't handle. And we can see that by those pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about abundant living. And we
Yeah.
need to ask ourselves some questions.
Yeah, that's right. Like, are you happy and content with your life? Is there more to life than you're experiencing now? And am I living my life in abundance? And if there was one thing that I could change, what would it be? And what is my health like today? How many pills am I relying on?
So
There
relying,
are some questions to ponder.
yeah. And do you know, as we said just now, who can do anything about any of these?
Only you
Yeah.
or me.
Yeah. I am not responsible for you. I remember years ago, the doctor gave me some pills, IBS tablets, which I don't suffer from now, and this lifestyle helps no end. And I can remember the doctor giving me tablets and telling me I had to take one every day. And I went home and Sally said, "Oh, no." And she was really worried. She spoke to the doctor, I think, because he was a friend of ours. And she said, "Well, I'm not asking you to take them, Sally."
No, that's right. Yeah, we're the only ones that can control what we do.
No one's making you eat the food.
No.
So real life, it starts with me.
Yeah. Do you already know that you're wonderfully made?
This is, from Psalm 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
And
God never makes mistakes.
and that's great, because that comes from Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. And interestingly enough, and we may cover it another time, that they have now said that genes, that form in us are actually formed not in our mother, but in our grandmother.
It probably goes back further than that as well.
Well, that's, the science is looking into that, which is really interesting. And God
doesn't make junk.
Doesn't make junk.
No. So because God has made us, we should be looking after our bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in Ephesians, it says, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.
So that's a bit of food for thought. And like we said, it starts with me. The story, the Christian side of this, Jesus Christ is not just his story. He is history. He gave up his life so we could live our life to the full. And Jesus is the only person to have proclaimed that he is truth. And that is quite a claim, isn't it? So this is the bit where John 10:10, which you see on our slogans and everything, the thief comes to steal,
kill, and destroy. And he came that we may have life and have it to the full. So we owe it to a God and Jesus, don't we?
Yeah.
To look after our bodies so
Yes.
we can live our life to the full.
And fullness is not being sick. Is not. Now we know there's sickness that is there, and we know that it isn't going to happen until we get to heaven. But there's so much we can do while we're here to live this full and abundant life.
Mm-hmm.
And our bodies are important.
Yeah, like we just said, God expects us to manage or look after our bodies because it belongs to him.
It belongs to him, yeah.
Mm.
And thankfully, it won't be the same body.
No, we have a new body, but we will be resurrected after we die.
Yeah. So
yeah. By his power, God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us also.
Yeah. Now, looking after our body in this life is so important because our bodies are important. Do you think that God actually got it wrong? Do you think he made some mistakes? Gave us not enough of this and too much of that? Or, which is more the case, has man taken it into his own hands and ruined it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man is the only species foolish enough to make his own food and stupid enough to eat it. That's a quote from Zoe Harcum.
Yeah, and I think Zoe got it from someone else. But
yeah.
But that panda, he only eats
bamboo shoots.
Yes. And if you were to take, that panda and start making a cereal bar for him,
yeah, he'd get very ill.
He'd die.
Yeah.
Anyway, I belong to him, 1 Corinthians 6:19-12.
Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body.
There. That's a great message there from 1 Corinthians. Now, all calories are not equal.
Yeah, so we do not, in this lifestyle, count calories.
No.
We're not on a low-calorie diet.
No. That's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
What? You've been told for years to actually count calories. And this study, which is quite interesting, because this was from the guy who leads up the public health collaboration.
Mm-hmm. He did this.
He did this study himself.
He did this story.
Yeah. And you can read it on, there is an article, it was published in the BMJ, I think. Mm-hmm. So if you would like a link, contact us and we'll give you a link to this. So despite eating 5,000 calories,
which is more than we could
possibly ask, think, or imagine.
Yeah.
It's a lot. That's more than double the amount we're supposed to eat every day.
But we're not counting calories.
No, but he ate 5,000 calories a day for 21 days, first of all on a low carb diet, which is what we're recommending. All right. And he had a job to eat it. He struggled to get this amount of food in.
Yeah, because being low carb does actually make you feel fuller.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he struggled, but after the end of 21 days, he put on 1.3 kilos. He then lost that 1.3 kilos, waited 3 months, and then he did exactly the same thing, eating very low fat, which is low fat, like we're recommended by the government and what most of us eat. And he did that for 21 days and put on 7.1 kilos. That is a lot of weight.
It's more than a stone, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's 2.2 pounds in a stone, isn't it? Something like that. So 7.1 kilos in 21 days. So then he lost that weight, and then he 3 months, and he did a very low fat vegan diet, same amount of calories. And what he did say, he didn't find it hard to eat 5,000 calories on the low fat, or the very low fat vegan.
No,
it was easy because carbs are actually moreish. But look up that study. Very, very important and very interesting. Now,
so yeah, like we've just said, a calorie is not a calorie.
Yeah, and if you want a bit more study on this, rather than me show you the video here, take up your time, look it up. Zoe Harcum, look it up on YouTube. A calorie is not a calorie. Make a note of that. A calorie is not a calorie. Okay, so why the public health collaboration wants to help? This is what we've all been told to eat over the last...
This is what you pick up in the doctor's surgery and the hospital, isn't it? These are readily available just to...
This is what the NHS recommends.
Yeah.
And if you look on there, you know, a very big proportion of them are carbohydrates. More than half are carbohydrates, because some of the vegetables have carbohydrates in, and some of the fruit have all the fruit has carbohydrates in.
Yeah.
So way more than half of that is carbohydrates. A very small amount, and you know, in that carbohydrates, it's got pasta. I think also they used to put a can of Coke in. I think they might have taken that out nowadays. But that is what we've been told as being the eat well guide.
The eat well guide,
yeah. But what Zoe calls it, the eat badly plate, and it's called that by many other. And you also see it in the shape of a pyramid.
Triangle, yeah.
But that is not what we want to, because what's happened is we've been following this, all right, and because we've been following it, if you look at what's recommended and what the actual figures are, you see there that the actual figures are we're 48.5% of total carbohydrates. We're recommended to eat 50%, so we're eating 40.
We are doing what
they said, yeah.
They said,
and if you look at the total fat, we've had 34.2% total fat, and they say we should have 35%. So, but the fats are the wrong fats as well. So we've been doing exactly what they've said, but the actual state of the health of the people is worse. And if you look at this little bit, which is fruit and vegetables, they recommend 5 a day. Of course, that was put in by
fruit and veg
people. Wasn't scientifically proven. And we're actually eating 4 a day. The recommended amount of red meat intake, they recommend 70 grams. We're eating 66 grams. So we're eating about the right amount of that.
Yeah.
And if you look at the total calories, they recommend 1940 for women and 2.5 for men, 2,550. Now, we're actually eating less according to that chart, but when people fill out food charts, they tend to underestimate. And so they reckon when you add that in, which is about 25%, we underwrite down what we've been eating. We're eating what they say. And yet, having said that, we're all, or many are overweight. And it's not just being overweight, it's what that weight is doing in the wrong places in our body.
So this is the real food lifestyle, which is what we are following.
Yes, and promoting. So we focus on carbohydrate density. In other words, not too much carb, not high carb food, which includes, you know, high carb pasta. High carb is potatoes.
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. And eat real food, avoid fake food, and be active. We're not big exercise people.
No, we're not.
But
we might go for a walk, but we don't do running or
no, we're not
the gym or anything.
We're not gym members.
No.
So
nothing wrong with that, though.
No, it's good to do it if you want to do it, but don't think you're going to do it to lose weight and keep putting the wrong fuel in. It's you know. So we're going to quickly look at how much sugar is in our food. Now, if we were showing you, you can look at this blood sugar bingo. Go to a BBC. It's a little thing, you'll find it on YouTube. But we're going to just quickly say how much sugar is in our food. So a very quick. You don't think that carbohydrates is full of sugar, do you?
No, because it gets turned into glucose when we eat it, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't grow with it in it.
no. So when you and being a farmer, I know that if I want to fatten up my cattle, I feed them carbohydrates. I don't give them fat. I give them carbohydrates. It's the carbohydrates that turn into fat. So
that's what
a jacket potato.
Yeah.
So a jacket potato. How many cubes of sugar is in a jacket potato?
19.
19 cubes of sugar.
No, I put them in a bowl there, but you
Yeah,
can't.
you can.
There's 19 in there.
19 cubes.
19 of them.
So when you eat a jacket potato, you've got to think to myself when you're, I spoke to someone the other day and they said, well, I have 2 of them at a time. Jacket potato, unless you're burning off that, is equivalent to eating 19 cubes of sugar.
But if you don't know, it's not your fault.
No,
and there's always
tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow.
So a portion of rice, Sally.
Yeah, 20. I've just added another one.
20 cubes of sugar in one portion of rice. Now, someone said, well, where do they hide the sugar? Well, if they aren't hiding the sugar, your body turns all carbohydrate into glucose, and that's the equivalent. And this is quite an interesting one. A bagel or a muffin. Let's have a muffin first.
Yeah, well, that's 10.
So 10.
That's half
10.
What was in a portion of rice.
Yeah, so 10 cubes of sugar in this muffin, which wow, that's a lot. But then you have a bagel and you think, well, there's not a lot of sugar in a bagel. So, and yet, how many, Sal?
11.
11 cubes of sugar in one bagel. So we need to understand that when we're eating, it isn't the burger.
It isn't the donuts and the cake, is it? It's the potato and the rice, and
as well as the donuts and the cake.
Yeah.
So you've got the donuts and the cake and the potato and the rice.
Yeah.
And but a bowl of strawberries is
it's got about 4.
Yeah.
Depending on the portion size.
Yeah. But we get mixed up with what's what. So a very good video to find again on YouTube. I'll try and put the link down below so you can see it. But blood sugar bingo, have a look, because it does make a big difference what we put on our plate. Now, how long have we been doing this?
Well, I will try to think about that the other day. I've probably been trying to follow this lifestyle more so recently, but probably for about 5 years.
Yeah. Now, both of us, we won't say that we're way overweight, because we weren't. We both lost about 1.5 stone.
Yeah, but the pounds were going on. Yeah. And if you put on a pound a year, 20 years time, you're going to be
a lot heavier than you were.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
because it was creeping on.
Yeah, and there's two books we're going to recommend this week, and the one that a lot of people followed on our last course was Stop Counting Calories and Start Losing Weight. Zoe Harcum. She has some really good stuff in there.
Yeah, and there's also a recipe book, which is good as well.
Yeah. And that you got that recipe book there, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got the recipe book. Yeah. And that you can buy secondhand ones on eBay and Amazon.
Yeah. And both of them you can get, so not cost you, but there are some good recipes in there.
It just gives you a few ideas.
And the other one is the Real Meal Revolution.
I got that one as well, but it's over there.
Yeah. and that book, I highly recommend that. And it talks about the banting diet, and you may have heard of banting. Oh, no, but please read it, understand the science, because that's what a lot of this is. It's cutting down the carbs, eating our vegetables, the stuff that isn't high in carbs. But that is really good book, and it gives you some science behind it as well. You can get them both very cheap on Amazon. So really worth doing, really worth looking up. So virtual coffee and target setting. So we will be having a get together on Zoom after this to discuss some of the things we've been looking at.
Can anybody join?
Anyone can join.
That's watching.
Yeah, but you need to click on the link and get or write it down and go to Zoom and then come along. Yeah.
And also it's a good idea to give yourselves a target, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. And know that if you don't set a target, well, the Bible says when there's no vision, that people get out of control, and that's so easy, isn't it? You need to know you can't drink this or this because they're both the same.
Same sugar lumps in each.
Yeah, same amount of sugar in a can of Coke or in a carton of apple juice. you know, and we need to know that, but we need support from one another.
Yeah,
and that's
definitely.
what we have found, that it's the support that gives everything. Yeah,
and we also set up a little WhatsApp group too, if anybody else wants to join us.
And we'll give you the information,
tips and things.
Yeah, on the Zoom, we'll give you the information of the WhatsApp group. And what you get is we will WhatsApp a message, and you'll get some free charts, you'll get some free ideas, you'll get some free posters, and all things that you can do to help yourself.
And in our next sessions, because we're going to do more sessions like this, aren't we?
Absolutely.
We'll be talking about other things as well.
Yeah. What I have for breakfast and what Sally has for breakfast.
That'll be different. One session.
Yeah. we don't need that much. Okay. So join us if you can on Zoom. And remember, we're 7:30 the first and third Monday of each month. But if you're on catch up, you can catch up whenever you want to.
Yeah.
And it's been great seeing you. Until the next time.
Yeah. Till the next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.